Welcome. This is a recipe I've been brainstorming for a little while, and I finally have time and assistance to help me out. So first of all, let me explain what's happening. This is an Irish cappuccino. These are the ingredients. This is everything you're gonna need. Espresso maker, medium roast coffee, which for the espresso purists, that's not a good thing, but I'll explain why. But this one you want a medium roast coffee, sugar, milk. I'm using oat milk instead of dairy milk, but this froths pretty well. Bailey's Irish cream, Jameson Irish whiskey, and a 15-ounce cup. So here's the idea. First step, okay. You want to have your ground up coffee, very fine grind, and then put it in the espresso maker. So now I'm using enough. I'm not gonna fill it up all the way. I'm using enough for a triple shot. So you put in enough for a triple shot of espresso. Tamp it down. Maybe a little bit more. And the reason why medium roast is important for this recipe is normally, for the cappuccino purists, to use anything but dark roast in a cappuccino drink is sacrilege. But I chose medium roast because medium roast coffee, I like the way it tastes with Bailey's Irish cream. So that's the point. And then I prefer Ka'u coffee, but this is from Costa Rica, and it's in lieu of Ka'u Big Island coffee. Costa Rica will do just fine. All right, next step, we fill up the espresso maker with water, filtered water, good water, and then I put a triple shot, so I'm going to fill it up to 4, so I got enough for the steam. And there we go. Put that in here. And I'll explain where this idea came from once we get it rolling. Okay, actually, I almost forgot the most important part. Okay, so make sure that's sealed, airtight. Good, and then we want to measure it. Because the point of an Irish coffee, you don't want the Irish coffee to be too boozy. It's supposed to be like it's almost like a liquid speedball. So you want to have a little bit of a buzz and a little bit of a booze. So we measure. So first step, we get a little bit of sugar, less than a teaspoon, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. And then I put it in the carafe before, like I put it in the carafe so that when the espresso hits it, it's almost like a Cuban approach. All right, and then the next step is we take a shot of Jameson Irish whiskey. Save a little bit for later. So as not to make it too boozy. Mix it with the sugar. Get it nice and get a little bit of pre-caramelization happening with the sugar and the whiskey. Put it in there, and then everything's plugged in. Okay, and then brew it. Now, next step, in the mug, take a shot of the Bailey's. Put that in the mug. We're going to froth it with the Bailey's in there. And then take the rest, whatever you have left, and I'll use a measuring cup just to get the actual measurement. So start with a half cup of milk. A little more, probably about a cup of milk maybe. And you don't want to fill it more than halfway. About 3/4 cup of oat milk I'm using. And where this idea came from while it's brewing is I used to play a lot of jazz gigs. I'm a saxophone player, and we would start our show from 10 p.m. and get off at 1 in the morning. And so when I would get to the bar, I'd like to get an Irish coffee. to get a little kind of a pep and then have a nice flow with the evening. But the problem I realize is a lot of bars first of all, either they have shitty coffee because it's been sitting there all night, or they don't have a coffee maker, and so to find a place that has Irish coffee is hard, first of all. And Irish coffee's basic idea is like a coffee regular with a shot of whiskey in it. So I figured, okay, let me up the game a little bit. So that's where this idea came from. And this is the first time I've ever made this too, so it's an experiment. It may taste like shit, it may taste good. So I'm blending the Irish cream, the Baileys, and the milk, kind of stir it up a little bit in there. I'm hearing signs of life. Here we go. Okay, so now it's brewing, so you can see that the coffee's hitting. Oh, there's a nice little science experiment happening in there, actually. So the coffee is dissolving the sugar and the whiskey in one kind of thing. It smells really good too. And then once this hits about 3, I'm gonna froth the oat milk and Baileys. I've also never tried to froth Baileys, so we'll see what happens. So for those of you coffee nerds, like when you can find a bar that has really good Irish coffee, and so actually you have the coffee regular plus the whiskey, and then if you put a little whipped cream on top, then they can charge you $12 for that drink. All right, we're almost at 3. This is really smelling good, by the way, so I have a good feeling this is going to pan out in a positive way. Oh yeah, here we go. So let me start with the steam. So you want me to come on this side. And so I put the mug just right at the tip of right under the surface of the liquid, and then add the steam. And heat it up. Hey, it smells good. Maybe a little bit more. Whoop. Gotta explode it. Alright, and then I just finish off the rest of the brew. And then kill the extra steam. Whoop. So this really didn't froth up as well as I would have liked. Maybe it's the alcohol in there is killing the froth. So that's part of the experiment that maybe didn't succeed as well. And then release the steam before you take this off because it's under pressure. And then finally, pour this into here, and we'll see how it comes out. Oh, I should have stirred that up a little bit. So, future reference, stir up the carafe before pouring, and let's see. It smells pretty good. Oh, see, this is perfect, man. So, because like the idea of Irish coffee is you don't want it to knock you out. It should just be real mellow. It should taste like a coffee beverage. It should taste like coffee with a little hint of else. So I say after the first experiment, this recipe is dope.